start with the Nick Salat story, because remember when it aired, I told you I'll give you an opportunity to respond. Does his move surprise you? Did you see it coming? What are your thoughts?
I think he's a very lucky guy, and it's interesting. We might never get to know why he had a problem in KANU in the first instance, because obviously he's not going to be subjected to due process. But like he said, he's home. And I think that's a weighty statement as far as I'm concerned. He's home. He's okay. He's working with the President of the Republic of Kenya. I think it must feel good. Even when he was dunning everyone, he was talking about winning the presidency. So when you have an opportunity post-elections to be received by the President, I think it must be a feel-good thing for him. And I think Kenyans generally must stop taking politicians too seriously. Ultimately, it's about self-aggrandizement. It's about him. So I think he's okay. As far as I'm concerned, he's in a better position as opposed to being in a party that formed a coalition that lost the elections. If it's about yourself, I think that's a better position. And I think all these politicians have a track record, and you can see it. So for him, I feel it's okay. I mean, where he went, how he went there, how he got there, how now he's even getting pole position to speak in a function where people that were backing the party that he's joining, or the coalition that he's joining, have been there consistently. This is how politicians operate to a large extent, and it should not shock anyone. And now he's a hero all of a sudden. So to me, well, these are interesting times, and I think it should be a lesson to Kenyans. Don't take these guys too seriously. They can do anything. They can be anywhere at any one time, depending on how things are working out for them.
Okay. All right. Herman Manyora, what are the, because Charles said we may never get to know what caused his troubles in KANU. Could it be that he was already reaching out to the William Ruto administration? Is it because during the campaign period we saw Nick Salat make a number of statements that Gideon Moi then had to come back, had to come in and then pull back? So what do you think caused his troubles within KANU? Or is it that he's been in the cold, proverbial cold? Because Mudavadi said it's been 15 years. I had 15 years for the gentleman. It would have been, I believe he said, it would have been a hard 15 years for the gentleman. So is that it?
Well, you know, like he says, politicians are politicians, and they grab every available chance. Yeah, so when you win the presidency, people troop to you, certainly, and he's not the first. He's not going to be the last. Many politicians have already trooped to Ruto, and others are still doing it. Others will do it. But I think from a serious point of view, there has been some kind of difference between Nick Salat and Gideon Moi in terms of the approach to politics. He's a little faster than Gideon. Gideon is restrained, conservative, you know, doing things quietly. I think Salat has always shown that he's not happy with that kind of slowness, if you wish. He would always appear to be wanting to push Gideon into the pool, but the gentleman doesn't want to undress. So, so you remember he's the one who tried to push him into declaring that he's going to run, and actually at some point actually forced him to kind of accept that. And I think the two, it was going to be very difficult when these elections came. Yeah.
All right. Dr. Mbutu, is it that Nick is more a fiery brand type of politician, and so his politics was like his politics and that of Gideon Moi, oil and water?
One thing about politicians is that they pursue personal interests. And what binds politicians are common interests. So in politics, there are no permanent friends, but only permanent interests. And Nick Salat is actually turning this statement to be true. But on a serious note, you know, KANU is not just an ordinary party, it's an independence party. And there might be a number of secrets which Nick Salat may have had an access to, which the country may not know. But in the fullness of time, as my senior Herman usually say, we shall get to know the exact truth. Because at the moment we've just heard that it's time, I need to embrace the president, I need to move on. But also we've not heard from Gideon Moi. So unless we hear from both sides, that's when we shall know where the truth lies.
All right.
Yes.
And